afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us today on this virtual conference for food and drink producers. Thank you also to Clark Willis for inviting us, to Jen Fuller of Norfolk County Council for organising, and to Tech East for enabling this to happen. Right, here we go. So
we have got some slides which we can share, which I just give you a bit of something pictorial perhaps as we go through. So hopefully you can see those slides. So as Sam was saying, back in March, I think it was, I can't remember the date exactly, to be honest, it was about the 20th, 21st, lockdown happened. And for us, it was a big, right, all our trade customers basically have shut. I mean, our business is, we sell premium spirits, vodka, gin, liqueurs, and our customers are on trades at pubs, bars and restaurants, and retailers, mostly independent retailers of one sort or another. And basically, they all stopped because pubs, bars and restaurants shut, and the retailers that were left essentially were focused more on selling the essentials. Vegetables, milk, toilet roll, all that kind of stuff. So the spirit sales really did stop. And to be honest, at the moment, in retail, they haven't really come back with any sort of significance yet. So we had a big moment of thinking, right, what do we do now? And the other factor, of course, was typically from June onwards, we have a whole series of events where we get to meet our customers sort of face to face. We start with the Norfolk show, then we go into the autumn events and up to the Christmas events, and we do a lot of trade at those events. And typically that's it. Last year was about 25% of our business, so it was significant for us. And one by one, those events started cancelling. So we knew that that revenue wasn't going to be there for us as well going forward. So essentially, we had a website running already. We've been trading for about 5 years. The website sort of trickled along in the background. We haven't really paid any sort of emphasis, put any attention to it, but it got us to rethink it. So we had to find ways, essentially, we could get closer to our customer, and that was essentially what it was. What was the challenge for us. And I'll come on to a little bit more about what that was, what we did in a minute. So lockdown happened, didn't it? Yes. And this was the first thing that happened. Hand sanitizer the world went crazy for hand sanitizer.
Yeah. And we started working with the UEA at the very beginning of the pandemic. So in early March, we answered the call for help from the university. They requested help with the production of hand sanitizer for the local authority and the NHS. And we were able to supply all the alcohol we had to start off production, and also to loan them some bottling equipment. When production had reduced, we received a lovely message from the UEA to thank us for our help, which was really nice. And then they kindly asked if there was anything that they could do to help us, which was amazing. And we jumped at the chance to work with them to focus on the online customer journey through our website and making the ordering process as enjoyable and clear as possible for consumers.
Yeah, we looked at the hand sanitizer thing, right in the early days. The WHO, the World Health Organization, published a recipe. We had one of the key ingredients, but we decided that whilst we could do so much, we really probably were too small to make any real dent. So the UEA had staff, premises, lots of white coats and goggles. They had all of the gear basically to make it. So by providing them, getting started with the hand sanitizer, which we did with the alcohol really quickly, but I suppose probably more importantly, providing some of that bottling equipment to enable them to bottle it was probably the most useful thing we can do. So once that was done, that kind of enabled us then to start think back into our business again. And we were thinking, okay, how do we reach our customer? We're not reaching them in store. We don't have a physical store. So what was left for us was online. And the other thing we looked at as well is because veg box deliveries became really popular about this time, because people couldn't go to the supermarket and get everything because they were running out. So we also partnered up with a couple of veg box delivery businesses, one locally, one in London. And so that was another way of essentially bridging the gap between us and the end customer. So we set that up, and that we did what we could with that. But really, what we spend our time is focusing online. So we rebuilt our website. We've actually done it twice in this period. We rebuilt it back in March. I think by early April we had a new website running, and we just spent some time looking at it, to just how we can make it more, I suppose, how people could trust us a bit more online. How they could, I mean, one of the things with our sort of product is that people like to taste it before they buy, and you can't do that online. So what we have to do is we have more tasting notes, more description. We focus on good imagery
and reviews. People really enjoy reviews, and it is important for us. So people, whilst they can't taste it, they can appreciate what other people are saying.
But because the only benchmark we had at the time was the historical trading, and in the year before, so 2019, online sales for us were about 3% of our business, so it was tiny. That's grown quite significantly since that time. But so we couldn't really, we wanted to be able to benchmark any investment we put into online with pound return per pound spent. And so what we did is actually used our event data, so the physical events we've been doing over the past 4 years or so. We looked at how much these events cost us, what the revenue, what the profit was on every one of the events. And so that enabled us to set a bit of a benchmark to enable us, okay, well, if we were to spend money and invest in online, whether it's through advertising or making sure or buying something that's going to help us, the website, to work better, we had some means of benchmarking, okay, are we doing better than we would at an event? So that was one of the first things we did. But also initially, I suppose we're in sort of, we weren't thinking clearly mode, I think, in the early days. So one of the things we tried very early on was, right, we need to offer free delivery. And we offer free delivery on every bottle. And we gained a few orders that way, but it killed our margin. So we stopped that quite quickly. And then what we did is we kind of had the reverse thinking. We started to think, okay, well, how can we increase our order value with the customers? How can we encourage customers to buy more? So instead of one bottle, they could buy 2 or 3. It costs us the same to ship 1 bottle as it does 2 or 3. So maybe we can offer some to the customer, and at the same time, we're improving our margin as well. So we looked at our products range that we have. It's not that big. We've got 6 basic products, but we started creating collections out of them, and by enabling people to buy 3 for less than they could individually, so a little bit of a discount, but we don't discount generally, but it's just creating a bit more value for the customer. We started to find that we could increase our order value. So that's kind of looking at our product offer. And then one of the things which we were really concerned with over the summer was the speed of the new site on mobile. Mobile is really key. And I think if anybody looks at their web stats to see how many visitors are viewing the website on mobile, it can be anywhere from 30, 40, 50 to 60%, depends on the site. So we believed our website wasn't good enough, it wasn't fast enough on mobile. So back in August, with the hopefully busy Christmas period coming up, we started again. And it took us 4 days, which isn't really long, I suppose, to rebuild the website from scratch. But we, using the Shopify site that we had already, but we completely reskinned it with a new theme, which was much faster, much more mobile enabled. We stripped every image out of the website, and every single one of those we optimized, so that squeezed every last bite of size out of the middle, so that basically, other than not having any images on our website, it's probably about as fast as it can be now. Yeah, so that was really key, and we're seeing the benefit of that now. So the new site was live from about 28th of August, and we're seeing increased conversion, particularly on mobile now. So hopefully that's set a platform for the future. And the other thing, of course, is just our marketing, wasn't it? Like email marketing. We weren't treating that seriously before.
We were doing perhaps 1 email every 6 months, and we had one customer who actually thought, they wondered if we were still going because we didn't keep in touch with them via email. So now we do 2 email newsletters a month, and we've got into doing that regularly.
Yeah, so consistency of communication was really key. Awards have helped us as well.
Awards have been brilliant. We recently entered the IWSC, the International Wine and Spirits Competition, and we were really chuffed to win a prestigious silver medal for our Wild Night Espresso Martini. And this followed on from winning the World Vodka Award for the best British varietal vodka for Wild Night. So both awards gave us lots to talk about with the press and of course customers, and it was brilliant to share some good news during uncertain times.
Yeah, I think that was the thing. I mean, it's great to have the endorsement, it's great to have the accolade. You know, it's not just these aren't the awards aren't from the local horticultural show, although there's nothing wrong with that. But you know, they have some standing in the industry, and so it's great to have that. But I think it was the positivity that, and talking to people generally, they love the fact there's a positive story coming out when we're drowned by negativity at the moment. I suppose the other thing actually online has really helped us is helped us break out of Norfolk and East Anglia. I mean, we sell into London and different places around the UK, but we can now, we're selling our product to all parts of the UK now. And in fact, one of the other positives during this particular time is we actually completed our first export order. So we shipped, back in August, we shipped some gin to Canada to be sold through the liquor board out there. So, you know, there's been a lot of positives, haven't there, over the last few months. Yeah. It's tough, but a lot of positives. So looking forward, just to sort of wrap up, we are, I mean, we think we created a good foundation with the website, but we're not resting our laurels with that. We're constantly looking for new ways in which we can improve upon that. I think one of the challenges for us is to convey the message to somebody who we can't meet in person of a product that they're going to taste. So we're kind of looking at new ways in which we can do that to increase people's confidence that actually when they're going to buy something, they're going to enjoy it. Reviews help that. We're continuing new product development. We've been doing that behind the scenes all through this. And also we have finally, so we don't have a physical presence, people can come and see us yet, but summer, autumn 2022, we should have a place set up. It's a little bit further in the future, but you know, we're working towards 2022 where we'll have a distillery set up where people will be able to come and see us. Because
we're asked probably at least once a week, can we come and tour your distillery? Unfortunately, we're not ready for that yet, but we will be, as Matt says. By 2022, we'll have a presence where people can come and have an experience. So hopefully by then we'll be really good at the online stuff, and so we can start getting good at the physical in-person stuff, really, I guess. So that, I mean, that's so a lot of challenges. We've done a lot. We've tried a lot of things that haven't worked, like the free delivery didn't work for us. On the, how do you stop share? Stop share with that, right? So. And I guess but we're very optimistic. We're really optimistic. In fact, more optimistic now, despite, you know, what has been a really tough year, sort of business-wise, it is for everybody. But we're really optimistic about the future going forward. And we think that, we hope, but we think we're putting in place the groundwork, which is really going to help us develop the business going forward. Yeah. So can we say thanks everyone for listening, and we look forward to taking your questions later.